Welcome to the deep dive. We take stacks of incredible sources, pull out the most important, sometimes really surprising nuggets of knowledge, just to make you instantly well informed. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of negotiation. And honestly, it's probably far broader than you think.
That's right.
We've dug into this really illuminating book on the subject that kind of redefines what negotiation actually is, our mission. Simple, to give you the practical tools to master these opportunities that are all around us, often overlooked in your daily life. So let's kick things off with a story. Picture this. New Year's Day 2017, you're at a family thing, having a good time, and boom, a hidden pecan triggers a really severe allergic reaction.
Boy, wow.
Yeah, and you've only got one EpiPen dose, you're rushing to the ER, you get to triage, they see your priority, but you're still waiting.
That waiting part is awful.
Totally. Your throat's getting scratchier, eyes itching, your mom's nervously rocking next to you. Now, in that kind of high-stakes moment, you could just sit there, right? Feeling worse, stress climbing.
Right. Just panic.
Or you can negotiate. This person, in the middle of an anaphylactic reaction, actually managed to strategically speed things up.
Oh.
They walked up to the receptionist, stayed calm, and just asked, "My throat is starting to get itchy again, and it's been over 20 minutes since my first EpiPen. What can we do to get me back there faster?"
Wow, just asked.
Just asked.
Right.
And like that, whisked into another waiting area. Then a triage nurse starts asking questions. And the person, feeling wheezy now, says, "I'm feeling really wheezy. Can my mother answer any of these questions for you to speed this up?"
Smart move. Delegating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Within minutes, second shot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
The benefit. Huge. Avoided a hospital stay, days of recovery.
Yeah.
It's just such a powerful example of negotiation having nothing to do with money.
Absolutely. And what's really eye-opening about that story is how perfectly it captures what we're talking about today. Negotiation isn't always about cash.
Right.
It's fundamentally about improving your quality of life.
Ah.
And it happens all around us, way more often than you realize.
Think about it. Most daily negotiations, money never even changes hands.
Yeah.
But the results, they could be massive.
Yeah, like rescheduling dinner so you don't look flaky.
Exactly. Or asking the hotel for a quiet room so you're not stuck next to, I don't know, a noisy party bus all night.
Yeah, been there.
These seem like small things, but they really add up. They lead to a life with, frankly, much less stress and just higher quality overall.
It really is incredible when you reframe it like that. Moving negotiation beyond just dollars and cents to, our actual day-to-day well-being. But, for a lot of people, that word negotiation, it still brings up images of stepping into a boxing ring or something.
Oh, yeah, combat, conflict.
Exactly. But we're here to say, look, these skills, they can absolutely be learned. They can be practiced.
Definitely.
And our goal with this deep dive is really to give you those practical tools, the things that help create, moments of pause and clarity right when you feel like you're about to freak out. Ultimately helping you reduce stress and, boost your quality of life.
And to get there, to understand how to do that, we really need to start with our own brains.
Okay.
Our sources describe the emotional unconscious part of the brain as this large, sometimes temperamental elephant.
Right, the elephant.
And the rational side, that's the rider trying to steer it. But when you're stressed, like in that ER story, fear just empowers the elephant.
Takes over.
Completely. And that leads to irrational decisions, things like making weaker offers or accepting deals that were found to be 12% less financially attractive.
Wow, 12%.
Yeah. And there's research showing, for instance, a huge gap in salary negotiation. People just don't ask. And one study suggested this could mean needing to work an extra 8 years just to catch up financially to those who did negotiate.
8 years, that's staggering.
It really is. It highlights the cost of letting that elephant run wild.
So, okay, how do you get control back when that elephant wants to bolt?
The key, according to our sources, is finding your mental pause button.
A pause button. I like that.
Yeah, helps you regain control. Think clearly. And there's a really powerful technique here. Reframing anxiety as excitement.
Okay, how does that work?
Well, there was this study. Participants had to sing in front of a group. Before they did, some were told to say, "I am anxious," others, "I am excited," and some said nothing. The ones who said, "I am excited," consistently performed better. Not just singing, but on later math and speech tests too.
Interesting. So just saying the words changes things.
It seems to channel that nervous energy productively.
Yeah.
And this kind of calm confidence, it can actually Drain their battery.
Drain their battery, meaning the other person.
Exactly. The other parties. It makes you seem less desperate, less likely to be manipulated. It suddenly suggests you have good alternatives, you know?
Yeah.
Shifts the whole psychological dynamic.
Right, because you're not sweating it.
Precisely. And the best part, this composure, it isn't some innate trait. It's a muscle. You can build it with practice.
Okay, good to know. So if negotiation isn't always combat, not a boxing ring,
Yeah.
how do we define it? Are there, like, different ways to approach it?
Oh, absolutely. What the sources make really clear is that negotiation is actually a spectrum, a range of styles.
A spectrum. Okay.
On one end, you've got what's often called the my way or competitive approach. Think cold, impersonal, very price-focused.
Gotcha.
People are often secretive with information, and it's all about the short term, like online auctions, eBay, for instance.
Right, totally anonymous.
Exactly. It's purely about the price.
Yeah.
As a seller, you know, you've got no real relationship with the buyer. The only thing to discuss is the cost.
Okay.
Moving slightly along, you get hard bargaining. Think buying a used car. Price is still king, but maybe a few other small things matter.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not looking out for the salesperson's best interests.
Yeah, probably not.
And then there's concession trading.
Yeah.
This is basically, if you give me something I want, then I'll give you something you want, but only if.
Conditional.
Very conditional. You see it with kids all the time. You know,
Right.
okay, if you give me some of your chocolate, then you can have the Nintendo Switch for 10 minutes.
Ugh. The classic kid negotiation. Chocolate for screen time.
The oldest trait in the book, both give something, get something. That's that end of the spectrum.
Interesting. So what's on the other side? The our way side.
Right, the our way or collaborative side. Here, everything shifts. It becomes warmer, more open. There's more information sharing. The focus is on longer-term goals, building relationships. The ideal here is win-win.
Win-win. Like, truly both sides get what they want.
Exactly. Without either having to compromise much or at all. Think about sharing Oreos, right? Your niece loves the crunchy biscuit parts. You only eat the creamy centers.
Perfect. Everyone's happy.
Total win-win. Or in business, maybe an employer offers remote work. They save on real estate costs. The employee gets a better quality of life, saves commute time.
Both sides achieve their goals. No downside.
Precisely. Financial needs met, qualitative needs met. And then, at the furthest end of this collaborative side, you have partnerships.
Partnerships. Okay, like marriage.
Marriage is a perfect example. It's characterized by deep mutual dependency. Sometimes you need to make a short-term sacrifice for the bigger long-term gain.
Like visiting the in-laws even when you'd rather not.
Exactly. It makes your spouse happy, strengthens the overall partnership. And in business, think about the Toronto Transit Commission and Bombardier. Remember those streetcars?
Oh, yeah, that was a mess. Huge delays.
A total debacle. Went on for a decade. Both sides lost a lot of money, reputation.
Yeah.
But they stayed engaged. Why? Because the switching costs were incredibly high. They were mutually dependent.
Right, they're kind of stuck with each other.
Pretty much. And sometimes, as the sources say, you've got to take a hit because if the other party goes down, they're dragging you down with them. You have to recognize that interdependence.
That's a really important point. So you've got this spectrum from pure price fighting to deep partnership. How do you figure out where a specific negotiation falls or where it should fall?
Good question. It often boils down to a mix of practical things. How much time do you actually have? How much information is available? Is it being shared openly? How complex is the issue? Does it need creative solutions? What's the level of trust between you? And maybe most importantly, what's the existing relationship like? Or the relationship you want to have.
So understanding those factors, time, info, complexity, trust, relationships, that's kind of your guide.
That's your starting point for navigating any negotiation, understanding the landscape. Now, when it comes to really unlocking your power in any of these situations, there's a critical concept. It's called BTNA.
BTNA, right? Best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Heard of it.
Exactly. Coined by Harvard professors. It's basically your plan B. What will you do if this deal doesn't work out?
Okay.
Having a strong BATNA or maybe even plan C through Z drastically increases your power. Why? Because it makes you less dependent on the other party.
Makes sense. If you can walk away easily, you have more leverage.
Precisely. If the negotiation collapses, you know you've got other good options waiting.
But here's a twist, right? Our sources say it doesn't actually matter if you objectively have all the power. If the other side thinks you have none, you're sunk.
That is absolutely crucial. Perception is reality in negotiation.
Yeah, there was this example with a credit card loyalty program client. Objectively, they had the most popular rewards program out there, loads of power, you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
But their own team was convinced the bank, their partner, held all the cards.
Why?
Just because, as the source puts it, the way the client's team interacted with the bank just screamed insecurity and desperation.
Ah, so their own behavior undercut their actual position.
Exactly. Their perception became their reality, despite the facts. But interestingly, just by changing their behavior, acting more confident before formal talks even began, they managed to shift that dynamic dramatically.
That's powerful. Behavior signals power or lack of it. And time pressure, that's another huge power lever.
The deadlines.
As the sources point out, if you're in a rush, that's definitely going to affect your power. We often face these deadlines that feel urgent, but sometimes they're, well, made up.
Artificial deadlines, designed to pressure you.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
trigger that fight or flight thing. So a key piece of advice, always ask, is this a legitimate deadline or is it fabricated?
Good question to ask yourself, and maybe even them.
Absolutely. And the person who manages to keep their cool, stay calm as that clock ticks down, and they always gets a better deal.
Staying composed under pressure.
It works. Even just using a brief pause to create suspense can be incredibly effective. It kind of drains the other side's battery, makes them anxious, more eager to settle.
So a pause isn't just for you to think, it affects them too.
Definitely. One student apparently used a well-timed pause, stayed composed, and just watched as their counterpart got visibly more anxious, waiting for a response. It built suspense, emphasized their position, yielded positive side effects.
Using silence strategically. Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about managing your own elephant, your emotions. But what about the other person's elephant? Because, let's be real, negotiations aren't just spreadsheets and logic.
Not at all.
As we said, emotions and elephants are what rule our thoughts. And biases, whoa, they play a massive
A
role.
huge role. Unconscious biases especially.
Like endowment bias, right? That thing where we totally overvalue stuff just because we own it.
Exactly. That George Michael concert mug example is perfect. To the owner, it's priceless.
Yeah.
Nostalgia, memories,
Yeah, but try selling it on eBay.
Right. Its objective market value is way lower. But the owner's perception is inflated because it's theirs. And then you have implicit bias, these subconscious patterns that just affect our decisions without us realizing.
Like the manager who only hires people who look and sound like them.
That's a classic example. Often happens completely unconsciously. There's this incredible story about the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra trying to tackle this.
Oh, yeah. What do they do?
They introduced blind and shoeless auditions.
Blind and shoeless. Why shoeless?
Because initially, just having a screen wasn't enough. The auditors could apparently still subconsciously guess the gender based on the sound of the musician walking in.
No way. Just the sound of walking?
Crazy, right?
Hmm?
Only when they removed that cue, made them play shoeless behind the screen, did nearly 50% of women finally make it past the first round. Shows how deep these biases run.
Wow. That's, yeah, mind-blowing. But, okay, the good news is if you can recognize someone else's bias, it can actually be an advantage, right?
It absolutely can if you're aware of it.
The book tells this great story about a teenager buying a laptop. The male shop owner clearly had a bias, kept dismissing her questions.
Patronizing, probably.
Totally. So her clever move, she brought her dad along as a decoy.
Haha, a decoy dad. Love it.
Right. She'd done all the research, knew exactly what she wanted, but she had her dad ask the questions and present the specs. Suddenly, the salesman took it seriously. Much better proposal.
Smart. Adapting to the bias to get what she needed.
Exactly. And similarly, using things like third-party endorsements, like testimonials or references, can help build your credibility up front and sort of preempt potential age or gender bias before it even surfaces.
It's a great practical tip. Build credibility independently. And all this really leads to the importance of self-awareness. You have to know your own stuff, your tendencies, your triggers.
Know thyself.
Pretty much. Remember that experiment with drawing a capital E on your forehead?
Vaguely. Remind me.
If you draw it so you can read it normally, you tend to be more self-focused. If you draw it backwards so someone else looking at you can read it, you're generally more other-focused.
Ah, right. Interesting.
Neither is right or wrong, but it reveals your default mode. And it's vital to understand the difference between your proposals, the specific things you ask for, like a salary number,
Right. The what?
and your interests, the underlying why. Why do you want that thing?
Okay, give me an example.
So Neil might ask for a $100,000 salary. That's his proposal. But his underlying interest might be long-term financial security for his family.
Gotcha.
Knowing that why opens up way more options beyond just the salary figure. Maybe better retirement contributions or help with moving costs or different insurance plans could also meet that underlying interest.
Right, it broadens the possibilities.
Exactly. It moves beyond a single fixed position.
And it's not just about knowing your own why, is it? You need to, like, flip the E around and figure out their motivation, too.
Absolutely critical. What's their underlying interest? A mortgage agent probably needs to hit a sales quota.
Right.
A kid's teacher likely wants a smooth, productive parent-teacher meeting, not a confrontation.
So thinking about their why helps you frame your request better.
Precisely. Frame it in a way that aligns with their interests. Remember the Pilates studio example?
Refresh my memory.
A client kept asking for the AC to be turned on because she had a history of fainting. Her why wasn't just being hot, it was needing better air circulation for her medical condition. The instructor, instead of just arguing about the AC, understood the underlying interest, fear of fainting, need for circulation, and suggested using a fan strategically placed near the client.
Ah, so address the real need, not just the initial request.
Exactly. It avoided a conflict, satisfied both parties, all because the instructor looked past the what, AC, to the why, circulation fainting risk, and found a creative how, the fan.
That's a fantastic illustration. Focus on the interests. Ultimately, then, as the sources really stress, satisfaction is the objective. It's not just about winning, it's about both sides feeling okay or even good about the outcome.
Satisfaction is key.
Even those little rituals, the seemingly silly dances, like just saying, hi, how are you? They actually matter. They build rapport, create satisfaction, make things smoother.
The social lubricants are important.
Yeah. And this whole idea of choreography of a dance seems really central to success, especially in certain types of negotiation.
Definitely. Especially on that my way side of the spectrum, preparation is absolutely vital. A structured prep document helps immensely.
What goes in it?
You list your key issues, what you think their key issues are, your resistance point, that's your absolute walkaway point, your least acceptable deal.
Your bottom line.
Exactly. Then your sources of power, your bait TNAs and what you think their bait TNAs might be. And crucially, anticipate their moves. What's their likely opening offer?
Why anticipate their opener?
Because if they come in really extreme, which often happens in competitive bargaining, knowing it might be coming helps you avoid a case of sticker shock. You don't get flustered.
Right. You can stay calm and respond thoughtfully, not just react.
Precisely. You're prepared for the dance.
In the dance itself.
Yeah.
What's the strategy there?
Often the advice is to make your first moves extreme, meaning ask for more than you expect to get, maybe even outside the likely zone of possible agreement. The ZOO-PA.
Okay, start high or low, depending.
Right.
Then what?
Then you make moves of decreasing size, smaller concessions as you get closer to a potential agreement. This pattern is important for satisfaction.
Why decreasing size?
It signals you're approaching your limit. Remember Chrissy Teigen negotiating candy with her daughter Luna? Chrissy offers 1, Luna wants 3. Chrissy counters with 2, Luna agrees.
Right, the back and forth.
Luna learned to expect that dance. If Chrissy had immediately offered 2, Luna might have felt like she could have gotten 3. If you agree too quickly to their first offer, or they agree to yours, the other side can actually feel less satisfied.
Really? Even if they got what they asked for?
Yeah, they might think, oh, I could have asked for more. They feel they left something on the table.
Huh. That's counterintuitive.
It is. So the advice, always pause before agreeing, even if the offer is great. That pause gives the impression you're carefully considering it, maybe reaching your limit. It maximizes your deal and helps ensure the other party feels satisfied, like they worked for it.
Make them feel like they earned it. Got it.
No, communication itself, the art of it is also pivotal.
Beyond just the words.
Way beyond. Research famously suggests that while your actual words matter, maybe only 7% of the impact, your tone of voice carries much more weight, maybe 38%.
Wow.
And your body language is huge, potentially 55%, especially if there's a conflict between them. If your words say yes, but your tone and body say no, people believe the nonverbals.
So how you say it and how you look saying it is critical.
Absolutely critical.
Okay, so what about written communication?
Email, text, pros and cons.
Well, the big pro is you have that unlimited pause button we talked about. You can manage anxiety, really compose your thoughts carefully.
Great, take your time.
The cons, though, are pretty significant. Misinterpretation is easy. Sarcasm almost never lands right.
Oh yeah, email sarcasm is dangerous.
Totally. And even simple things like typos or missing punctuation can completely change the meaning. Think, let's eat grandma versus let's eat grandma.
Yikes. Okay, point taken. Commas save lives.
Exactly. So you have to choose your words carefully, maybe even overly so, and actively inject warmth to avoid sounding cold or abrupt. Good advice. And sometimes less is more. Remember the airplane seat trade story?
Mm-hmm. The women who wanted the window seat?
Yeah, the couple wanted her middle seat so that they could sit together. She didn't argue, just stated her terms calmly. If you give me the window seat, then you can sit together.
Clear, concise, conditional.
Exactly. That less language in general approach, especially on the more competitive dark side, as the source calls it, was super effective.
Definitely. Tone, too, is critical. It conveys emotion, manages expectations. If you're speaking a non-native language, like the Greek example in the book, you might naturally pause more. And that can actually be perceived positively as thoughtful and collaborative. It could boost your credibility, strangely enough. Even practicing saying your own name clearly and confidently can make a difference.
And body language. Those power poses.
Yeah, the power poses, like the Wonder Woman pose, hands on hips, or the Victor pose, arms raised where you physically take up more space. Research suggests that they don't just change how others see you, they actually change how you feel about yourself. Your own hormone levels can shift.
Seriously? Just by standing differently?
Apparently so. It impacts your self-perception, which then projects outward. Of course, cultural awareness is key too.
Right, like the Greek open palm gesture being an insult.
Exactly. You need to know those things. And setting boundaries physically, like offering a handshake instead of accepting an unwanted hug, that's also part of managing the interaction through body language.
Okay, this is all great. What about asking questions?
Questions. A negotiation superpower.
Superpower, how so?
Get this. One study found that expert negotiators ask nearly 3 times as many questions per hour as average ones.
3 times as many? Wow, why are questions so powerful?
Several reasons. They gather crucial information, obviously. They can help manage conflict by showing curiosity instead of aggression. And, importantly, they can force them to think about the consequences without the resistance that comes with your telling them.
So instead of saying, that won't work, you ask something like, how would that work in practice?
Exactly. It lets them discover the problem or the solution, which makes them more likely to accept it. And you want to use what are called calibrated questions, open-ended questions, starting with what or how. Like, what's the main objective here? Or how can we make this work better for everyone involved? They encourage collaboration, information sharing.
And avoid why questions.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Why questions can sound accusatory, put people on the defensive. Why did you do that? Feels different than what caused you to do that, or how did you arrive at that decision?
Subtle shift, but makes sense. Less confrontational.
Exactly. Focuses on understanding the process, not judging the person.
Okay, one last big strategy piece. Those 4 magic words.
Yes. For the our way, collaborative side, if you, then I.
If you, then I. Conditional statements.
Yes, but the order is super important. It has to be. If you do this thing that I want, then I can do this thing that you want.
Why that order specifically?
Because it frames your offer as a response to their action, almost like a reward or a gift, rather than a demand or a punishment.
Okay, example.
Instead of saying, I'll wait for the coffees, but only if you go grab us a table, which sounds a bit demanding.
Right.
Try, if you grab us a table, then I'll wait here for the coffees. It feels much more collaborative, like a fair exchange. Leads to more satisfaction.
Same outcome, totally different feeling. Framing it as a gift.
Exactly. And you could take this further with mesos.
Mesos.
Multiple equivalent simultaneous offers, presenting several different packages or options at the same time, all of roughly equal value to you.
Like an accountant offering different service bundles.
Perfect example.
Right.
Maybe package A has more consulting time, package B includes tax prep, package C has faster turnaround. By seeing which one the client leans towards, you learn what they value most.
So it's an information gathering tool too.
And it builds trust, shows flexibility, makes them feel like they have choices. Powerful technique.
Wow. Okay, putting all this together, it feels like it could genuinely be, well, life-changing, as the source says, even if things don't go exactly as planned initially. I'm thinking of Lila's story from the book, the student who left a harmful relationship.
Powerful story.
Her breakthrough came when she applied the negotiation concept of a resistance point to her situation. She defined it as the place where I feel I'm at risk or where staying would do more harm.
Applying a negotiation framework to a deeply personal, non-financial situation.
Exactly. And that framework gave her the clarity and strength to set new boundaries, to basically negotiate her way out of a damaging situation, even though it was incredibly hard.
That really underscores the breadth of where these skills apply. And it's so important to remember, as sources emphasize, that failing is okay. Do it in lots of low-stakes negotiations.
Like practice on the small stuff.
Absolutely. That's what kids do constantly. They push, they test, they fail, they learn. They're brilliant negotiators because they practice all the time without fear.
That's a great point. We get scared of failure as adults.
We do.
Yeah.
But we need to reframe it as learning. And remember, this isn't just about getting more money or a better deal. It's fundamentally about self-worth.
Self-worth.
Yeah, having the confidence and the skills to thoughtfully ask for what you need to improve your life, recognizing that you deserve to advocate for yourself.
That's a really powerful way to think about it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, the challenge goes out to you listening right now. What are you leaving on the table in your life?
Good question.
What's holding you back from getting what you want or what you need, maybe what you even deserve? Which of these tools we've talked about today, the pause button, understanding interests, BATNA, asking questions, the if you then I, which ones will help you get there?
Start small, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. We really encourage you to start applying that pause button mindset immediately. Could be in a big salary talk, sure, but also in a tricky conversation with a partner, or even just, asking for that quieter hotel room.
Those small wins build confidence.
They really do. And the payoff. Less stress, higher quality of life. It adds up.
It truly does.
You are capable of such incredible things. And by mastering these skills, by learning to negotiate effectively for yourself, you not only improve your own life, but you can become a role model for others too. Show them the power of thoughtful advocacy.
Be the example.
Exactly. So go out there, start negotiating for the life you truly want.